challenged them. I said, rather than producing products for hygiene that are proprietary, non-sustainable, and shipped at a long distance, why don't you turn your business model inside out and do sustainable production with local materials, working with local communities? And to my shock, they took that seriously. And so that led to a project called High-Tech Hygiene Technology, where they've been working with a number of groups around the world on testing exactly that. And one of the leads is Benno. And if you don't know Benno, are you here? Just here. Yeah. So if you don't know Benno, come meet Benno, who grew up in the Amazon. And what's been really striking is bringing together the indigenous group and the multinational. Both were really worried about the damage each could do to each other. And what they found was an amazing sweet spot at their intersection, where there's great wisdom in indigenous traditions about what you use for oral care to protect you from mosquitoes, things like that. But what P&G knew about is the labs, how you test, how you assess, how you measure, how you characterize, how you prove efficacy. And so we've been working with the indigenous communities, Bendo and P&G, to deploy labs to test, measure, characterize, and develop local products, and now are co-creating businesses. And to an amazing extent, both sides are really finding great value in working together. And right at the heart of it, it's like the moment when we deployed FAB labs, but now we're deploying labs for material science, for chemistry, and for hygiene. And so another part of this project is looking at clean water production. And so there are a number of sites, including Rwanda, Bhutan, along Chile, working in this high-tech project, looking at sustainable production of local solutions for hygiene and deploying labs for that. So all of that is the high-tech project, and if you're interested, see Bennu to follow up with that. And many of you know who's working with me on that. Here's a second surprising initiative. The musician Peter Gabriel approached me years ago. He did a song, Panopticon. Panopticon is creepy. This was a penal idea of prisons where one guard could supervise many prisoners. Peter's vision of Panopticon was to turn it inside out, and so the world could tell the world stories. And his background, years ago he started Elders, which was a group where he got Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu, Jimmy Carter, wise elders to help be a resource for the planet. The vision for Panopticon is to do that kind of from the bottom up, help the world tell the world stories. So Peter approached me about that for help with it, and the FAB Lab network has built multiple geospatial systems. So FAB Labs IO is the map to find FAB Labs. Adam Stone, some of you know, made an expert map to find expertise in the lab network. A group here has made the FMCU, where you push a button and find labs all around the world. So we put together a prototype of a geospatial data system as a sketch of what Panopticon could look like. Then, next door to that, at the Mexico meeting, I brought in Alex McDowell, who is Steven Spielberg's production designer, and I had worked with him on a number of Hollywood movie projects. And he does world building, where when you make a $200 million movie, you don't do it as a perturbation. You stop and think, what should it look like? And then you make it so. And so Alex has been working with the group here, including Rico and many other people, on a question surprisingly, at least I haven't been asking. We've been asking, what's the next step for FAB Labs? Not what's our destination? Where do we end up? And so this world-building group has been looking at what is the world we want to create? And then how do we get to that world? In turn, the third leg is video game development platforms are crossing the uncanny valley and becoming photorealistic. And so all of these are merging together into Panopticon as a global geospatial data platform to tell the world stories, both existing and scenario planning for the future, mashing all of these together. And a starting point for that, picking up on the high-tech project, is indigenous storytelling, taking traditional knowledge and helping celebrate, share, and distribute it. And so here the Fab Lab network is growing beyond its roots as laser cutters into a geospatial knowledge platform given our global footprint. And so all of that is Panopticon, and Jean-Michel is one of the points for that if you want to follow up on that. And the third note is, I've mentioned FAB 2.0, the transition from buying to making labs, and there's so much happening with that. If you weren't there yesterday, the machine building workshop was packed and really productive and really fun. So I'm showing FAB in a Box is a project with SolidWorks. Rather than donating one lab, it's investing in roughly $10,000 mini labs that come with the teacher in the box, in effect, to deploy access at much larger scale. Danielle and Gracia team have done a fabulous job on the Open Lab Starter Kit, a complete Fab Lab with open designs. Lower left, I'm showing one of the classes I teach at MIT I'd like to do through the Fab network is how to make something that makes almost anything. The class of rapid prototyping, Lower right are all Fab Lab machines. Let's see, you see Jens waving. Fab Lab machines made with Fab Labs. And so this cloud of activity is racing ahead. Danielle is a good resource. Jens is another good resource. For if you make a Fab Lab in a Fab Lab, it can be faster, better, cheaper. The skills and jobs can be local. But in particular, you don't just need to make the machines as you know them, but you can adapt them to local needs, dreams, opportunities. You can progress into personal automation, from personal fabrication. And we have to mash together CAD, CAM, machine control, and motion control. So there's a great team developing it. If you're interested, we invite you to join into the machine building. And finally, for a taste of all of these things, let me advertise at the Academy graduation tonight. There's a highlights video of the greatest work of the network, and you'll see students all around the world working in all of these areas. So I invite your participation in these. Thank you.
Great notes to start with. Up next is today's keynote, followed